I actually think I'm quite sad and analytical, which is probably what drove me to do performance art. And then people would say, you're really funny, but I guess because so much performance art was so painful, like I'd be on these bills with other people and everyone was like pain, 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 and I would be the funniest person there, but I'd be maybe the saddest person at the comedy club. I feel like the stuff, like the kind of issues that I pick are not particularly funny. They just get that way. And like when I set out to do a show about depression and suicide, I actually didn't think it was going to be funny. I thought that I was going to get into the deep layers of it. You know, I'm talking about Long Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I thought, I'm going to do this really deep, meaningful show. And it still was all that. But I think for me to survive the process of making that show, I found myself making fun of myself a lot. And that sort of humor, I think, is also what shines in this show. I think one thread in all my work is that I guess I never intended... See, what happened with going Green the Wong Way is I had really thought in 2006 when I bought a car that ran on vegetable oil that I was just going to show the world how fun and easy it was to go green, and that, it's this fun little car and it's pink colored and look how fun it is to go to Smart & Final and buy new oil. And the 2 years I owned the car before it caught on fire and the freeway just got worse and worse and worse. I know, thank you, but I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm glad you think it's funny.
The vegetable oil just...
The car just caught on fire in the freeway, and it was devastating, and it was scary, you know, any kind of near-death experience you have. But I think, you know, I don't know, I just would, the show started because I had all these pictures I had taken of the car, and I would narrate through these pictures, you know, in these little 10-minute show and tells, and people were just laughing, because they thought at first it was just going to be this kind of informative rah show about how fun vegetable oil cars were, and then it turns and it's worse, and I'm in the alleyways, and I'm like, I'm doing semi-prostitute-y things to try to get vegetable oil for the car, and then I'm, you know, but like my optimism was so bright. No, I'm going to make it work. And, you know, I get to this point where the car finally catches on fire and I go, I guess this isn't going to work the way I wanted it to. And I guess life is just like that, you know, and especially because I do the same shows, I run them for a while. Like this particular show I've been kind of working on for the last 2 years, and I'm touring it now like in LA for 4 weeks. And I'll go to Edinburgh, Scotland for a month. I have to do the show over and over again. So if it's a painful, dark, horrible show, I'm not going to have fun doing it. So I find ways to keep it silly and keep it fun for me. It's a different kind of green message than I think me going, and that's why you should save the planet. If anything, it is about how hard it is to go green, but I never gave up. I still don't give up. I spent $200 on an indoor composter, which like churns automatically inside the apartment, and my place began to smell like, just smelled really bad. It was like rotting food. And I was like, I'm gonna make this work. I'm just moving outside. And it just like, so there's, I'm growing mushrooms inside my house, you know, to eat, not, you know, and and they look so gross, and there's like sometimes there's flies going around it, but I'm like, I'm growing my own food in a condo, you know, so. But I feel like it is about the joy we can find in failure, and in weird ways, almost dying in a car fire has been like the best thing to happen to my career, because I got this great show out of it, and the show is played at all these great places I would have never imagined I could tour at, and it's brought a whole new audience to my work, environmentalists and stuff like that, and I'm finding a lot of environmentalist types are telling me that they are so excited to see, you know, someone do comedy about environmentalism, you know, and, you know, when I was still workshopping the show, I remember doing this, and it was a bunch of stand-ups, and it was me with my PowerPoint talking about the show, and everyone's talking about sex. And then I'm like, let's talk about the bus system, you know, and I think it's kind of a fun, fresh topic for me that I feel like hasn't been mined enough. If you don't know my work, or even do know my work, you might be surprised to hear me say I feel like it's really autobiographical, where my other shows kind of dance around who I am and what might have happened in my past. Like there is a lot of just straight up factual information, just kind of presented just one for one on stage.